keeps the dogs from bringing them back to the house.
You hang them up on a fence 'cause
You need to put that on Facebook.
Okay, we're gonna call a meeting to order. It is Tuesday, May 23rd, 2023. Please stand for the pledge. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Born and unborn.
Okay, minutes and reports received and filed.
Yes, we have the collector's April 2023 release.
Okay, Commissioner Committee liaison reports, upcoming meetings and events.
Yes, a pretty slow week for meetings. There is a small business advocacy town hall meeting this evening at 5 o'clock at Chamber of Commerce. It's the Missouri Women's Business Council, I think, is putting it on. Did you all get an
I
invite to
didn't
that?
know.
Huh.
I think maybe you're more special.
Well, they didn't have to post it. If they had 2 of us there,
Yeah.
I don't know. No, I thought, actually, the one that invited me, she asked for y'all's email addresses
Oh.
too, so I thought you all would have got one, so.
No, I did not.
And then we have Memorial
Shucks.
Day on Monday, so. Okay.
Wednesday, I have a Mid-Mo Regional Planning Executive Committee meeting in Ashland. And we have ARPA Forvis meetings on Wednesday, Friday, Monday's Memorial Day. I think that's it for me.
Okay. Yeah, I don't have much either. Tomorrow I'll be here for a short time, and then I'm with my thing with the Guard. I'm taking a group out on the Missouri River with the Army Corps of Engineers. So we're gonna go cruise the river and look at all their works.
See if you
And
can
then-
get a catfish.
Yeah, now we went the Asian carp.
Attention, we can do it. I'm
Those-
just saying.
We went the Asian carp. And then Friday and Saturday's the state track meet. So just a lot of people in town, streets closed.
That was this weekend too, right?
Yes,
Is
yes.
it big schools or small schools this weekend?
Yeah, I think it's big schools maybe. I know ambulance parking is right there. Boy, you got specialized parking, so that's all I've got. Okay, any commission comments? Bids and contracts. Bid award project number 2127, Cole County EMS new facility.
Speak up, I can't hear you. We'll listen there.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So as you guys know, we opened our bids for the station build project last Tuesday. GBH Builders was the lowest bid at $4,820,000 and $820,093. We had visited quite a bit over the week individually. This is higher than what we had forecasted, but I think we had a pretty good idea that those prices were going to be fairly volatile going into this. You know, the big thing that I would ask is that, you know, we've designed a building that, you know, is responsible, functional, and durable. We feel like it's a building that will last us for 50 plus years without a whole lot of, you know, extraordinary maintenance to it. It's going to be functional for our crews and much improved space than where they're at now. And it'll be a source of pride for the county and our department as well. As you know, $2 million of this project was funded by Community Development Block Grant. My total ask, which we can get into later, will be slightly higher than the base bid amount just because we need furnishings and that sort of stuff. But what we need to do today is I would ask you to award the bid to the lowest bidder. I've talked to my peers about GBH. Seems that everybody's had good work from them. No concerns from anybody that I've talked to. They were responsive and completed all the pre-bid requirements. From here, if it is awarded today, the Architects Alliance will enter into the contract negotiations and work on that contract, and then once prepared, we'll bring it back up here for signing, and the clock on the project will officially start. So milestone here, but a few more to cross before we get shovels in the ground. We have talked a little bit about budgeting. I don't know if you guys want to get into that today, but happy to answer any questions you might have.
One thing you left out though, this is in our number one call volume area, so to me, that's important because, you know,
You know, I think one of the things when we started this project fairly early on in my tenure here, and we knew that our current operations were not efficient and not really delivering the best service. But I think sitting here almost 2 years into this, I can say that the need now is greater than ever. You know, we can't get that place open fast enough to get another truck down here and get the crews in a space that's comfortable and, you know, beneficial for them. So,
I guess the contract will talk about number of construction days.
correct. So we'll get that once the contract piece kind of gets up and running.
Okay.
Their initial completion duration was 420 days from the signing of contract.
Got it.
So then the money, the extra money,
Yes, sir.
what do we decide it's gonna come from?
So-
Capital.
I think that's the conversation. We want to jump into that. We've identified 3 possible revenue sources for that, and I'll just walk you through kind of that. The remaining balance, so if total project cost is $5 million, that roughly leaves out another $1,090,000 in which we need to come up with funds. Option number 1 is that that remaining balance is 100% funded from ARPA or GR sales tax. While I know that there are certain conversations and concerns that go along with that, the big benefit there is that we take all risk out of depleting down EMS sales tax contingency. You know, we take out the financial risk of any future recession or anything that the economy is going to do, and we have a project that's ready to go in the ground now, and we can spend those funds that are sitting in reserves and be ready to roll. Option number 2 would be to split that $1,090,000 50-50 between ARPA, GR, and the EMS sales tax. Again, that does pretty much remove any vulnerabilities to drawing down the EMS sales tax contingency. Again, project ready to go, would allow us to spend those funds within the next couple months. And then option number 3 is funding it 100% from EMS sales tax. Debbie, Mark, and myself have all crunched the numbers. We feel very confident that EMS sales tax can fund it. The only risk would be as if we ran into a severe reduction in sales tax next year or later this year due to any sort of economic uncertainty. But we do feel that the fund is healthy, 3 viable funding options. I think Mark would be happy to join in on any of the conversation as well. So we're confident whichever route you all would like to go.
Well, I think we've got a healthy contingency in there, and I've talked with you and Debbie both about it. I'm fine taking it from it. I think you know that you got that pot of money, and you know, some things may have to last a little longer if it does get spent down a little bit, but we have gotten that built up, and I think it's a good place to be able to use that money for. I think it's a very important project down there. I
You
don't
know,
want it getting held up either.
I will say for the last, 6-7 years, this is something that reserve and that contingency has been building for. I mean, this has always been the goal. We've been helped out by CARES money and ARPA money to build that a little bit quicker, and, I do agree that we're sitting in a perfectly fine position. If there was no economic uncertainty out there, if we didn't have any of the questions hanging out there, I would sit here and say, yes, 100% funded out of that. But my only pause is future what if. So, I don't really have a lot of heartburn about it. So whichever way we want to go, I have no problems.
I think we can discuss that a little later too, but, yeah, we've gotten spoiled by these grants and all this money that Luke and David Bach have been bringing us. So, you know, having the 2 million, you know, and again with the multimodal, to have that funded the way it's funded, you know, it really makes, it helps. It makes it a lot easier to do it.
Agreed.
I don't have a problem using some of ARPA on that either. These are, the ARPA money is one-time money. This is a one-time cost. There's gonna be other costs associated with the building, you know, maintenance, all that good stuff, so it's gonna be added cost on top of everything else. But I don't know why we can't decide where we wanna take it from now. If there's something in particular that you're wanting to look at, I mean, if you're just wanting to do it out of the contingency, then let's just do that. But the ARPA money, we've got a timeline on that, so there would be a benefit.
I would withhold a decision this moment, but, you know, we're talking 420 days, right, from someday in the future, so we're well into next year. So we'll have the balance of this year, a lot of next year's sales tax money. If we can sit down and get a reasonable projection as to how much, without depleting your reserve, that you got to hang on to.
I just give you pause on that thought and ask Debbie to jump in here. It's Debbie's opinion that the build amount would be encumbered upon signing the contract, which changed the reason of why for option number 1 and number 2 is that we would take that immediate hit to contingency within the next 60 days, so for that full amount. So my initial thought was the same as you, is that we had several, you know, possibly up to 2 years of sales tax to see where we go here. But my understanding is that money would be encumbered upon signing.
Well, encumbered and spent are two different things. So there's going to be a flow of money every month. Revenue sends you, us, sales tax money. We just don't know how much it's going to be. Yeah.
How about this, encumber it in EMS sales tax for now?
And you
When
could,
we do next year's budget, if you want to change it,
Yeah.
Well,
it can easily be
yeah.
changed.
I'd be good with that.
I'm only a week away from making a WEEK, not WEAK, week away from saying, let's use option 2 as modified or whatever.
Sure.
But just not this very moment.
Yeah.
And we can get our arms around some of these projections a little quicker. And I actually think that it's going to cost a little more than that as it rolls out. We're still trying to size up your chair for the desk,
That's
right?
correct, my office chair, yeah.
I got it taken care of.
Okay. Well,
It
but
even has a cup holder on it.
So, you know, one of the things that I think I discussed with all 3 of you, option number 3, is that if we went ahead and took it 100% out of EMS sales tax, that, you know, we could always evaluate further down the line, and if, I think the term I used, if I needed a spritzer out of GR or something like that, if something did happen, that would be an option as well.
Okay.
So,
But I'm okay with going ahead with the awarding of the
okay.
contract to GBH.
As am I.
Yeah, I'm okay with it too. I want to make sure we get this thing in budget. We did it with the law enforcement center. I think it's very important to do that because this has been over the bid amount. That was a tough one to choke down. I appreciate you listening to me bitch about it because I wasn't real happy about it. We talked about different options. Was maybe we don't finish out part of the substation and do it later, but I think that's a bad idea. We both agreed on that it's just gonna cost us more later on to do it. It's not gonna serve the purposes that it should, so I think we gotta just watch the budget really close on it. It worked for us on the law enforcement center. That went well. I think we need to do it on this too.
Yeah, you know, one thing, working with our project design team, and I think it's reflected in the limited amount of alternates, is that we believe that the building as designed and as spec'd is quality build. It's a new building, so there shouldn't be a lot of hidden costs. If I did my job correctly and the architects did their job correctly, the building was designed on paper the way that it should be, so limited change orders. I 100% agree with sticking with the budget and doing that piece. Maybe I'm naive, but sitting here, I don't see that there's a lot of variability in it. The only real variability that we could run into is the replacement of the unsuitable soils, but some of that, what they estimated, was already built into the base bid, and we have the unit price here. So that's really the one variable that I see. Otherwise, we feel that the building is designed and this is a true representative cost. One of the things that did stick out to me in talking to the architects, and I think this is a valid point for all of you that have lived here much longer than I have, Architects Alliance reports that a project like this hasn't been completed in downtown Jeff City in a very long time. A building of a new building of this magnitude from the ground up. So it was very hard for them to estimate cost because just not a lot of project. I would probably offer that the sheriff's department is probably the last construction project of this magnitude in downtown, so from scratch. So.
And Eric, we tried to make it bigger. We tried to add the third floor.
Right.
But the soil is such that that the engineering that goes with that, it wasn't doable.
Correct.
But it is what it is. Okay.
So I think the request for you all today would be to award the bid to GBH in the amount of $4,820,093.
I'm good with it.
I'll make a motion to award the EMS Adams Street Building award is going to be to GBH in the amount of $4,820,093.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you very much.
Keep moving ahead. Okay. Signing and approving an MOU addendum for the opioid litigation settlement.
Okay, this is an addendum to the MOU for settlement with Teva, Allergan, and pharmacies, which includes CVS, Walgreens, Walmart. This agreement is with the state because the money is going to the state, and then the AG's office distributes it to the political subdivisions. We'll get our share. The counties and cities that did not sign on won't get anything. Their money will go to the state. So, all I need is a motion to sign the addendum to February 2022 MOU. And
You wanna
it's
say it?
paid off, come over. and
Go ahead if you want, if you got it.
So we're not gonna get it all at once.
Yeah.
For those listening at home as well as here, Jill, there was, we had some requests from the community for some of this money. You want to address that?
Sure. Unlike the tobacco settlement of a number, what was it, 20 years ago or something? These opioid settlement funds are restricted. In this particular fund, let's see, it's the distributor's fund rather, 100% goes towards mitigation, remediation of opioid abuse. There are some funds that are 85% have to go towards that, 15% something else, but then anything you spend that's in that 15% has to be reported through a portal. And my suggestion is 100% of it really needs to be, just so we don't mess up, 100% needs to go towards opioid remediation and mitigation. And it's pretty broad on how you could use that, and some of the guidance we have from our litigation counsel goes into that. As far as, it's not like ARPA money that you have to pass out, because we're responsible for this being spent according to the settlement agreements.
Are there more coming down the line, or are these the final ones?
No, there'll be
This is just
more.
the start of it?
Yeah, and Jeff, these payments, some of them, are paid out over a number of years, so it's not at all 100% upfront. I think I sent to you and Harry maybe, there was one list and anywhere from 3 to 7 to more years. I think one was maybe 15, maybe. So it'll keep coming.
Yeah, we debated too on whether we wanted to participate, so I'm glad that we did, and I appreciate you getting it all done.
So, okay. Any other questions?
No, thank you.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to sign the addendum to the February 2022 memorandum of understanding between the state of Missouri and its political subdivisions on proceeds relating to the settlement of opioid litigation.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Summer food service program and at-risk after-school program participation agreement.
Good morning. This is a reimbursement agreement from Department of Health and Senior Services for our environmental staff to conduct food inspections at the sites that provide food for kiddos over the summer and also after-school at-risk programs. We get paid per inspection, and if we meet the quality objectives, I think the maximum that we can be reimbursed is $700. And Debbie, the 2 exhibits are back here for you to do. For sample signings.
His turn.
Yeah.
This one's got a longer title. I'll make a motion to sign the summer food service program and at-risk after-school program site inspections with the Missouri Department of Health and Senior Services.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Contract signing for 2023-13 vehicle equipment install and repair services.
This was awarded on May 5th. It's for the Sheriff's Department for their vehicle equipment install and repair services. It was awarded to Wireless USA and Turnkey Mobile for the lowest and best with availability. So today I'm just needing the contract signing for both of those.
You good?
Mhm.
Okay. Make a motion to sign the contract for vehicle equipment install and repair services, bid number 2023-13.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Do we have any unfinished business? Okay, new business, accounts payable review.
Don't think there is.
Yeah, there's a check run Public Works once approved.
Oh, they want special, okay. I'd ask for accounts payable approval pending review.
Motion to approve accounts payable pending review.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, health department equipment upgrade.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So
Yeah.
our nurses recently received new laptops and docking stations. We paid for out of an epidemiology for lab capacity grant. And Chris worked with Brian to get some quotes on like some new keyboards and scanners that work better because all of them are pretty dated. The nurse practitioner that comes in twice a month was wanting they call it computer on wheels, a cow at the hospital, so she can put her laptop and supplies on the cart and not have to carry it, risk dropping it or somebody knocking it off the counter and a me cart. So just some technology upgrades. One of the conference rooms, we want to make it to where we can have video conferencing in there. So there's a TV and stand and projector for in that room. So just some minor, computer upgrades. I think the total is $16,000. It's all off the CDW contract, and it's all can be paid for by the ELC contract.
You talked to us about this last week or the week before, right?
Yeah,
And then
right.
Brian went in and found and verified that it's all on state contract and then it's
Mhm.
paid for through the ELC.
Correct.
So, $16,494 and a penny.
Yep. And then, along with, we were talking about the lab, I think last time or the time before, and Jessica did come over and do some measuring. So, like I said, we're gonna put that ELC contract money to good use. And supposedly the contract amendment to extend it for a year is on the way, along with the extra money as soon as they figure out how much that's gonna be, so.
Okay.
Do some good upgrades.
Mhm.
Yeah, we just need to approve the purchase then, Debbie? Or-
Yeah.
Okay. What do you call this purchase?
Maybe health department equipment upgrade, like we put on the agenda, is probably good enough from CD, and it's all from CDW, correct, Brian? Yes.
Okay. Make a motion to approve the health department equipment upgrades as presented.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Gosh, we moved right along. While you're there, do you want to give a report on our fundraiser
Oh, sure.
and the fact we need teams? I think, Alex, I think News Tribune's gonna have a team.
So, yeah, Cole
Yeah.
County is a pace setter for the United Way, and we're gonna do our fundraiser a little earlier this year. Last year we did it in July, the cornhole tournament at the airport, it was hot, so we're doing it June 16th. So we need teams. We've already got some great donations for the silent auction. We have 2 different Mizzou football game packages, one with parking passes and one with a special tailgate that Huber was generous enough to donate. So we need teams to sign up to play, and we'll have prizes for winners. We'll have food there from the landing zone. There's gonna be an Italian ice truck. Jeff's gonna donate a set of boards to be raffled off like we did last time, so it should be a really fun time for a really great cause. So
We just
the
need more
flyers on the-
teams.
Yeah, we need more teams. It's on
Yeah.
our Facebook page. It's also on the Cole County website. So it's
Could you
6
come
o'clock.
to our communities meeting June 1st and maybe see if we can get some teams
Sure, sure.
from our communities?
You should be invited to that meeting anyway.
Right. Sometimes
Yeah.
it's hard if my husband's traveling, but school's
Yeah.
out right now, so that helps a little
But,
bit.
I mean, I figure,
Yeah.
you know, we get teams from Russellville
Yes,
and,
yeah.
you know.
And then tomorrow at the mall is a senior health resource fair. Melinda and I are kind of splitting the time, but DHS is putting on a senior resource fair. So if anybody knows some seniors in the community that might need, I don't know, I think it's the first time they've done this. Not like seniors in high school, but you know, seasoned adults, how we should
Maybe
say.
Harry and I need
But,
to go.
you know, they're gonna be, they'll have, yeah. So we're gonna pass out.
I didn't say anything.
Yeah, so I have some
Well,
of
you gotta have a
those,
little levity, yeah.
the information about the prescription drugs. I also got some the disposal bags from the Council for Drug Free Youth because, you know, seniors have a lot of medication. They just have to sit around. And we'll put out some information about some of our vaccines that we have that are tailored for the seasoned adults. So we'll be there from 12 to 4 at the mall.
That might interfere with my nap time.
Yeah, get your exercise, your steps in.
I could ask for a friend, but I'm going to pass on the
Okay.
question.
Anything else before we go into closed session?
Yeah, I got a couple of things. So you mentioned June 16th, so when you get done with the cornhole tournament, save a little energy. On June 17th, there's a Hustle for Habitat for Humanity 5K run walk. And Lauren Matthews emailed me this. I don't know if y'all got a copy or not, but she's a sophomore at Elias, and her goal before she graduates is to raise $5,000 for the River City Habitat for Humanity. So she asked me to share this, so if anybody's interested, I'm sure you can go to River City Habitat for Humanity website. There's an entry on it. There's different age groups. And they're gonna collect gently used tennis shoes for recycling. So if we can do something to help her out, anybody that wants to participate in it, I think it's kind of a neat thing that she's doing. I think her brother might have been the Boy Scout or something that did a lot of things here in town too, so. A lot of different things they're doing for the community. Then we got another email from Larry Jones, and I was reading through it, and it really piqued my interest because I heard last night that Columbia had sent out to around 54,000 property owners that their taxes were being adjusted, raised by an average 8%. This one says that the Cole County Assessor will meet with their CAMA provider and increase the residential subclass by 10%. So did you all see that too?
Saw it.
So,
It's unsigned by the assessor, however.
then, I mean, what's gonna happen with it then? Where, at some point, he's gonna have to sign something or come into compliance, or we're gonna lose money.
We're gonna lose money.
So,
Not only us, all the other all the schools and everybody,
Yeah.
all the political
Well, my-
subdivisions.
Our reimbursement money from the state, they're not going to give us our reimbursement money.
True, if he doesn't comply.
And if he doesn't sign that MOU,
Yep.
which says he will comply.
so then if he doesn't sign it, then we lose the money. And then we basically don't have money to run the assessor's office to get any of the assessments done.
Well, I think that amount maybe, Mark, what is it, a little over 100,000?
200-some thousand.
Is it?
Yeah.
I-
Yeah, I meant around 200,000.
I don't know if it's automatic that it will not be submitted by the State Tax Commission to the county. I don't know if it's automatic, but I've seen the letter from Larry Jones, who is the local assessment director or administrator over there, and they've been working with our assessor since, I think, October on this MOU. And you can see what it says. When the letter went to him, it went to the assessor, and it went to the three of us, and maybe to you as well. No, to the three commissioners. It's his office. We'll see.
Yeah, I think we will put this on the agenda.
I have been, someone keeps track of the postage by department, and tracking that, it doesn't appear that there's been a increase in the amount of mailings going out of the assessor's office that would be telling owners of parcels in the county that their assessments are going up enough to require a written letter.
Yeah, when's that?
June
When's that guy go?
June 15th.
June 15th, because BOE starts the end of
July.
right?
Right.
So, I don't know, I saw that, and then after hearing that other news, that, apparently it's happening in other areas. And so just kind of alarmed about why nothing's happening, or if anything's gonna happen, because we've had other emails from Mr. Jones about it, so. All right, and then since the sheriff's here, your on-call thing that you emailed us,
Yeah,
so, I know you emailed and said that you're gonna increase it to 2 hours. I didn't know if that's something that we come in here and approve. I know it's one of the tools to try to get the employees and stuff to pay them for being on call for whenever you do have shortages.
right.
So,
I-
we can,
Sorry, I did put it on next week's agenda because it is a policy change, so I need to have that in my books in order to do that. So it is on next week's agenda.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
You do now?
Yeah, I guess so.
Well,
I'll be prepared.
you were included in that, so.
yeah,
I'll be prepared.
I just wanted to bring it up, see if we needed to discuss it in here, how we need to do that, so if it's on the agenda next week. And then we had another one, we just did the raises, and then we had the email, or the pay forms come through for two other ones that had, years of experience, and so they were gonna start above starting salary, so what I'd like to see, if we're gonna do that, just have, we don't know how many years it is, do we have some kind of guidelines? And I think I've done this, I've been consistent with everybody across the board. If anybody else comes in and wants to start them above,
You guys already
starting.
agreed to start them above. I came to each one of you, and you agreed to start these guys above, these two.
The one that we talked about on
Two
the
of them,
phone,
yes, sir.
but what I do with everybody else is we come up and do it in session.
Okay,
So
so you're not
I-
talking about my two people, the one you already agreed to do. You're talking about generally across the board.
Well, I think it was these two as well, but I wanted to bring it up in session.
So.
I'm not gonna mention any names in here, this is in
Well, I
general.
understand, but now
Just-
we've already talked about this, you guys approved it, so now we're gonna take it back. I don't understand.
I'm not saying I'm taking it back, I'm saying I wanna talk about it in open session, because once these pay forms go through, and then other elected officials see it, then they get ticked off, and they're like, well, hold on, I got this one's got experience, so I wanna start them at a higher starting salary
So do
too,
I need to tell these two that they're not starting at that salary now?
No, I didn't say that. So I just wanted, we talked about it, but I'd like to see too what the, some kind of objective scale or something is, how many years of experience? I don't remember
Okay.
what you told me, I just, when the pay forms came through, and I do this with everyone, so I try to be consistent with all the elected officials. So, if, the clerk wants to come over here, the assessor, collector, I would have them do the same thing.
I understand.
So, and we've had them do the same, so. I don't know if you remember right offhand the years of experience, I know we talked about it briefly,
I don't.
so, that's been a few weeks ago though,
Mm-hmm.
so, kinda forgot about it,
I figured this would come up.
so. But I'm not saying no to it.
I understand. But anytime I get pay raises, I know there's an issue, so.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I think that's my stack of stuff.
Sheriff, a week ago, I guess, I get these dates mixed up, but,
Yeah, me
okay. You mentioned how many you were down,
22,
okay, and today?
22.
I thought you found,
Well, they're not started yet.
oh, okay,
And you
well,
gotta- And you gotta remember, once you're gonna hire them, I can't use them for 3 months.
well, so if you say 22, 2 weeks in a row, it looks like you're not making any progress, but you are making progress because you've got some commitments or
I
something.
have 2 conditional offers out that's been accepted, but they haven't made
Okay.
it through the.
Okay,
Well, I think they both made it through the process now.
all right. Well, I'd
But
like.
they're not on the books.
Well, you've made offers, conditionally accepted. Okay. Do you define that as progress?
I think, yeah.
I do.
Any step forward is good. Yes, sir.
Okay, all right. Well, with that, you might be asked that week after week by me, that because 22 is alarming.
It is for my staff too.
Right,
Right.
okay.
We just moved 10 more, by the way, Pettit County. We're at 172.
Now, yeah, that's what I was going to say, prisoners, not employees. Right,
But that goes into, that also goes to the issue of having low staff, is because I have to move people because of classification and for the danger that these guys are seeing down there in jail.
right.
But that's all right.
No,
I'll be ready for
what
next
I think one thing the public may not appreciate is if you have 180 beds, it's almost impossible to have 180 prisoners because some of them only fit in certain beds.
That's correct. Classification-wise, we like to keep it about 160.
Right.
That way we can put the non-offenders or the nonviolent offenders with nonviolent offenders and so forth.
So if your nonviolent offender pods are full and you pick up a violent offender,
Mhm.
that person probably has to go to another county or somewhere else temporarily,
Right.
unless the judges cut somebody loose,
Right.
which is a daily kind of thing that they're looking at to cut
Mhm.
the right ones loose.
Right. It's a vicious cycle.
Got it.
Well, I talked to you too about perhaps, since Callaway County just has opened their new jail, that we could sign an agreement, kind of like what Boone County did with
We talked to
Montgomery County, and you said they don't have the jailers,
Callaway County was not taking any extra.
does not have the jailers,
Because they
yeah,
lost that.
to oversee
Right.
the beds they have, so, yeah. It's not just us that are short jailers, and corrections is short, so,
Right.
yeah,
No, it's nationwide.
yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Anything else before we go into closed session?
Nope.
Ready for this?
Motion, sir.
Pursuant to Section 610.021 of the revised statutes of Missouri, the commission will go into closed session to discuss the following: real estate under Section 610.021, subsection 2.
Second.
Roll call?
Sam,
Yes.
Harry,
Yes.
Jeff.
Yes.